A $40 million bounty has just been placed on President Trump's head by Iran and their cohorts, okay? So about a week ago, they decided to basically put out a fatwa. Fatwa basically being like a religious edict, meaning that if you share the same religious beliefs, let's say, it is ordained by God for the most part, Chris, for you to do this one specific task. And this one specific task is something crazy. All right, but let's go and see where this video takes us immediately. This is a suggestion via channel member. Let's do it, guys.
All of this coming as a fatwa, or religious decree from Iranian officials, is calling for the assassination of President Trump. And they claim to have created an online fund worth an estimated $40 million. Max Lesser is senior analyst for emerging threats at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's been looking into all of this and does join us now live to discuss it a little bit further. First off, Max, thank you so much for being here with us. Can you kind of explain the situation here overall as a whole, what we're being told and maybe what we don't know just yet?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Josh. So there have been a lot of threats issued recently by members of the Iranian government, Shiite clerics against Trump or just against Americans more broadly. And what I would say is that Iran has been trying to assassinate President Trump for years.
For a long time, yeah.
And now it's all out in the open. And what I've been looking at with my team at FDD is a particular website that is seeking or allegedly claiming to crowdfund a bounty for Donald Trump's assassination, saying, look, if you carry out this deed, we will compensate you with this money. They claim to have raised millions and millions of dollars. The most recent figure was over $40 million. We have no idea if this is a legitimate number or not. But it's a clear effort to try to mobilize and motivate any sympathetic audience to carry out an act of violence against President Trump.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Purely.
What?
They're just trying to basically create brand new proxies for them.
First brought the site there to your attention, and I'll be honest, I can't really pronounce the name of it. I don't know if you can, but what made it kind of stand out to you as a potential threat?
Yeah, so the website actually takes its name for the Arabic word for revenge. And a lot of time what I have my team do, we monitor for malicious Iranian activity. And a lot of times what that looks like, to be quite honest, is just doom scrolling. People are probably familiar with that term, just doom scrolling on social media, scrolling and scrolling and searching and looking for these little needles in the haystack. And so one of my remarkable interns actually came across this website and flagged it to me very early on, back on July 8th. And what I immediately wanted to do, we saw it was clearly an Iranian website. It had a .ir domain name, which shows that it was created in Iran. And what we wanted to do was to go in and actually see, well, who actually created this website? Was this potentially an Iranian government effort? Was this just a vigilante effort? And when we looked at it, we actually uncovered the identity of a man who was involved in the creation of the website, which I'm happy to chat more about. And that man actually has historical ties to the Iranian state broadcasting group. So we actually were able to identify the man, one of the men behind this website, and reveal his identity.
I do want to talk more about that, of course. So tell me what you learned about this guy.
Yeah, so the man, again, as I mentioned before, he previously, or at one point, worked for the Iranian state broadcaster. So that's a clear tie to an Iranian government organization. And he seems to have created this website. It's unclear if he's acting alone or with others, but he's creating this hashtag. And what I would say about this website is it's sort of, I would call it an influence operation, because what it really seeks to try to do is try to influence people, to mobilize people.
Right. Okay. So basically what I'm hearing here is I don't think I believe any of it then. So obviously the fatwa specifically, that's a real thing that happened here. But if it's one individual person basically trying to create some type of, propaganda, let's say, right? For lack of better words, I choose not to, I don't want to use that word on the internet these days, guys, but either way, it seems like he's trying to just do that. Right. I mean, listen, Iran is really good at creating like misinformation for its people. They're really good at it. So and obviously, if he had anything to do with broadcasting, then most likely he's fully is aware of the concept of creating something like this. He could just be bored and angry. That's really what this is here. He could be bored and angry. Now, is a fatwa real? Yes. Is a $40 million bounty? Does it exist somewhere? I doubt it, guys.
The more that I carry out acts of violence. And on the website, he actually references those fatwas that you mentioned earlier to lend religious authority to this effort. And it is quite concerning. And what we can do is by revealing the man's identity, we can actually, the US government can implement more targeted sanctions against the people who are directly responsible for the creation of this website.
Okay.
You kind of touched on this already, but is there any way to really verify that we are talking about a $40 million bounty that has been raised by this group?
Right,
There's no way to really know that.
Not at all.
For sure. It could just be a number that they're throwing out there.
Right. You could have said billion.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Josh. And that speaks to the point that I brought up earlier, which is that this is really, I would categorize this as an influence operation. It's seeking to influence people. It's seeking to mobilize people. Pushing that number up higher and higher just holds the potential to motivate people more and more and more to carry out this violence. And I think this is what we've seen from Iranian operations, especially since October 7th, and especially since the 12-day war that happened recently between Iran and Israel. We've seen Iranian influence operations increasingly take this violent turn. One of the operations that me and my team have been tracking, actually put Saudi Aramco in its crosshairs and was trying to mobilize Yemenis to carry out acts of violence against Saudi Aramco. So we see this sort of increasingly violent turn in Iranian influence operations. And this actually, though we're seeing this trend, this goes back a long time. Actually, there was an Iranian operation in the past called Enemies of the People that created websites that doxed election officials and tried to incite acts of violence against election officials in the past. So again, it's this increasing concern when people think about foreign line influence, they might think about influencing public opinion, trying to shape people's votes. But this website really shows an example where foreign line influence is being used to mobilize people and motivate people to commit an act of violence to assassinate President Trump, which is quite frankly an extreme escalation and something that I think should be taken very seriously.
I mean, guys, hold on. I'm not sure that it's like specifically an extreme escalation in this context here. Obviously, this is something terrible. Trump did save that man's life. Okay, while Israel wanted to just completely take out the supreme leader and cause all types of ridiculous havoc, let's say, Trump was like, "Listen, bro, I don't think that's a good idea. You're gonna make this man a martyr. Things are gonna get worse and worse and worse because you could basically come back from this, specifically if they don't go too hard, let's say here." But now, in terms of this website is definitely intriguing, but I don't think that it's anything to worry about like that. But again, any threat is legitimately a threat, and these type of threats need to be handled pretty much immediately, right? So I definitely hope that it's not true at all here. But if there is a $30 million bounty, in fact, it's still not going to go anywhere, bro. I mean, we have the greatest military on the planet. Our Secret Service is absolutely spectacular. No one gets near Trump, bro. That's not a thing, right? But let's go and see where this, we'll definitely see where this takes us. If there's more to the story, we'll jump more into it. I just wanted to basically come back with a kind of more insight and more information specifically on the fatwa that was put out on Trump here, guys, okay? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe, all right? I'll catch you guys later.